12 o'clock, and it's the 19th, 2019, the third month, and everything's growing great. Well, growing good. Great would be plants growing extremely fast, but they're growing great. They're doing pretty good. And I have everything doing well. Collard greens are slow, but they're on schedule. Peppers have not been put in yet because it keeps dropping down at night. Last night was like, I think 32 degrees. And thank you for the thumbs up. Thank you. And so my next project will be making my soil extremely fertile. I've been doing it all winter, but I want to lighten it up this year. And I mean that by saying the soil is going to be very fluffy for roots to go through. Good morning. Good morning. Nice to hear from you. I am happy that everyone's online coming in, and also I am doing a great job in the garden. I mean, not to sound facetious, but it's working out, and everything I did, I made for myself. My own seed starter mix works great. I started that, and I started making a different type of soil mix, and it's nothing fancy about it, just organic soil, And so, oh, thank you, thank you. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. I'm just thinking right now that I have a video up. It is called Building. I think it's Building Soil. But I'm using a tool that helps me inject uh, fertilizer directly at the root base. Some of you may have seen it, um, but I'm only using it as like a test, so to see if it has any value to it whatsoever. But so far, it hasn't rained yet. So once the fertilizer put down at the base of the tree or bush, I'm looking to see what will be the effect of it once it rains, uh, or um, or I can water it in. But you know me, I don't water unless absolutely necessary. I do not water. Um, I use rainwater what I mean by that is I use rainwater. I don't use my own water. I don't do that. That defeats my purpose. My whole purpose is to keep costs down when I garden. Keep it down. I don't spend what I don't have to. But big, beautiful peppers. That's what I want to see this year. Big, beautiful, healthy peppers. And I had that last year. I had the banana peppers did it very well. They did very well. And the bell peppers were slow to grow. And my understanding is that you don't fertilize the bell peppers a lot. You just don't. How did you make the organic soil? Let's see. How do I make the organic soil? I'm using. Okay, first of all, I'm using. Excuse me. My soil is a heavy clay, um, and it took me years to come out and tell people that my soil is a heavy clay because being a morning gardener, I want everything to be great, but it's heavy soil, and I had to work with it and get it where it is today. But at any rate, okay, I make my own compost. Simple. Compost that I use is made of just grass clippings and weeds, or leaves and grass clippings and weeds, and I use all of it. I use tree branches, tree limbs, whatever comes off of my fruit trees, and I put that in a pile and I let it decay, and that's always my soil mix. Then I use uh, two parts, which I mean two 40-pound bags of cow manure. I like to use black cow, and I put the black cow um, in a pile with a tarp, and then I put one part, which is a 5 gallon bucket of compost in there, and then I use probably about a 5 gallon bucket of peat moss, and got that going, and that gets mixed up. And then I use about a 2 gallon container of perlite, and I mix that up. Now, the only thing I'm trying to do with this mix is to lighten the soil up, and I'm adding nutrition to it by adding the cow manure and also the compost. So it's like another words of backing up your compost. You say my compost might be good, but I don't know if it is the best. So I'm going to back it up by using hello. Oh, okay, that's a good thing, right? Um, yeah, I mean, really. So when you put this mix together, and now here's the part: when you dig out just just the hole where you're gonna put your plant in, and I usually loosen the soil up with a manure fork. Um, it's not it's chemical based. Okay, I don't know what that means. I think you're saying that I say it's not cow manure; it's chemical based. Now, are you speaking of the black cow? Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much for listening. Oh my goodness, but yes, the he says hello everyone. Late farmer 73 says hello to everyone. But so I don't understand your message. If you can retype it, you said no, it's not. Okay, it's not. Okay, it's not cow manure. It's chemical based. I don't know what that means. You got to be elaborate a little much on that. Okay, let's see. It's not manure, chemical based from what the cow eats. Okay, here's what I understand about black cow. Here's what I understand because I've been on the phone and I've been talking to the company for months, and I've been getting information on black cow. Here's how it works, so that you're clear on your information that you're passing out here. Black cow is a manure, and it has some other elements added into it, such as it looks like a sawdust or something that's added into it. But let me elaborate further on that. They cook this stuff. They cook it. They sent me all the information of what they do to their manure, so that they make absolutely certain that it's safe, and that if any of the cows do eat anything, steroids or whatever they may or may not eat, they cook that process for months and make certain that that stuff is up to standards. So if you have any further questions about blackout, just a suggestion there, I would contact the company and get that information and then come back on and we can talk about it further. But I have been dealing with them for a long time, and I've dealt with other cows. Oh, you're welcome anytime. I've dealt with other manures back in the past, and I used to buy bags that just said manure on it. And when you look through it and you try to look for what it is that's in that bag, there's no real information there. Then they got something in some of the bags called sludge. Sludge. Now you don't want to really know what that is, but I had to do some research and found out that sludge is human waste, even though it's cooked, and there's nothing wrong with it, but it is human waste. And in some countries, they use it. They come up with newer systems to use this waste product because they're saying, like a lot, YouTube. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. They're not sending you notices on my. Well, have you used that little light bulb? Because you use a light bulb, they'll send you a notice as soon. as if I put something up, they will send it immediately. Because I used to do people like this. I used to go and subscribe to them, but I didn't use that little light bulb. And that little light bulb makes it so that everything that I produce goes right to you. And that's how that works. It goes right to you once you light that little light bulb up. Let's see. I say, yeah, I finally got into your stream. Oh, that's a good thing. I'm glad you got there. Say human waste. Oh no, 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 no. Human waste. We can't see ourselves someday having a special toilet that's designed to separate the fluid waste from the solid waste, and for you to be collecting your own waste and using that for your garden. But in some countries they do. But the human waste is the one that carries the bacteria and all. So it has to be handled in a certain manner. You have to know exactly what you're doing so that you don't make yourself and your family sick. Human waste, but it's being used. I've seen the equipment they use. I've seen how they cook it down. I've seen how they test it and everything. And when it's finished, they're using that stuff because it's cheap. Nobody wants it, but in fact, if they can put it out there and grow food and vegetables, grow vegetables and fruit, they're going to do it if it saves them cost. You don't have to know about it. They don't have to tell you about it. That's how they look at it. They don't have to tell you. All they got to do is put it out there, and you say, "Oh my gosh, these are the best grapes I've ever eaten in my life." And you don't know what they use to fertilize it, but in fact, when they go through the right process, human waste is just as safe as cow manure or rabbit manure. It's just as safe because they're cooking that stuff. As long as they're following the guidelines and making absolutely certain that they're heating that stuff up to 175 degrees or better, and they heat it up for a few months and they cook that stuff. But yeah, I mean they got factories. That stuff is being shipped in on trucks, and so there's money in it. There's money in it, and the only reason why a person put an 18 wheel on a road full of human waste is there's some money in it. But I have seen the bags that said sludge on the bag. And I said, oh my God, you got to read these bags when you get them. So, here's some carbon is organically fed. I would trust it more. But they are giving cows so much. Anyway, absolutely. There are many places that are using the old methods of caring for cows that are stuck and crowded into areas. They are giving them all kind of medications to to uh, to deal with that. Also, yeah, also in the milk products. Chickens are done the same way, you know, and we eat the heck out of that. But the thing about here's what they're doing. They know for a fact that if you heat something up hot enough, you can cook out any medication. You can cook out uh, the bacteria that you want dead. You can do that if you heat it up enough and for long enough. The very compost that you're buying that they collect off of the street corners in the fall when you bag up all those leaves, they take that stuff out there and heat it up. And what they're doing to it when they heat it up, they're killing all kind of bacteria. They're killing all kind of seeds that are in that manure. I mean, excuse me, that compost. They're doing this for a reason, and they're making buku money off of it. The thing about it is, when you leave your leaves on the street in the fall, you're throwing away valuable money. It is that simple. The neighbors are doing it and don't even realize they're doing it. They are cutting their grass, they're bagging it up, they're throwing it away, they're cutting their, I mean, excuse me, they're growing their trees and they feed it fertilizer, whether it be man-made fertilizer or they feed it organic fertilizer. But when those leaves fall off of that tree, especially the ones in the forest, that's black gold, folks. Black gold. And in the forest, what do they do in the forest? that stuff hits the ground and is recycled right back into that tree. And it repeats that over and over again. So keep that in mind. Your property is producing enough to actually run on its own. And that I know for a fact because every year when I cut down those weeds, when I cut down that grass over there with my growing my product, when I cut it down and I let it lay there on the ground and I come back in a few months and it's gone. When I leave all my waste on the ground, when I finish growing my tomatoes and I finish growing my okra and I finish growing my pepper plants, and I just leave them there, and I come back in the winter and in the spring, and they're gone. They're going back into the soil. Now, when weeds grow, I've learned that weeds are my friend. They are absolutely my friend. They produce food for my soil. They have long tap roots. They dig. They pull up all those rich minerals that you could never get to with a shovel. And they pull all that material up, and when they pull it up, they drop it right on the surface and say, "Here you go. There you go. There's nutrients for your plants next year." So yeah, I have much respect for weeds. I go out there with a powerful weed whacker, and I cut everything down. And then once I cut it down, it's done, folks. That's how you do it. Thank you very much. Thank you, much. I try to give as much information out as I can because here's my thing, folks. I really hate when I go through. That's why I can't even go in the stores during the springtime of the year. It really bothers me to go into the store and see people being taken absolutely advantage of. It bothers me. It actually bothers me when I see a man with a flatbed with 8 bags of he's buying wood chips and he's paying $4 and $5 a bag, and I'm looking at him and saying, "Oh my God, don't he know that the tree companies are giving that stuff away, and the only thing they're asked for you to do is to take the whole truckload." So they're giving it away, and this guy's in here buying it. Then I look at people going in there buying topsoil when the wood chips would produce the topsoil. Oh, come on, folks. A guy willing to take a truck, drop it off at your property, drop 10,000 pounds free of cost of wood chips, and all you got to do is leave it in the back of your yard and let it sit there. And if you leave it and let it sit there, when you dig around the edges, you got nothing but the blackest, prettiest topsoil you ever want to see. And you're going out paying for it. Wasting your gas, wasting your money, and you're paying for it. That bothers me. And I see them in there. And I see a lady buying a plant. She got plants that are dying in the pot while she's buying them. They wilted over, and I'm looking at her. And this is $1. This is a big box store, big brand name. And they're letting her pay $18, $16, and $15 for these plants. And I'm looking at her and I'm saying, I want to say something. I want to say something. But this lady is going to do what she's going to do anyway. And there have been people I've walked up to and I stopped talking to them in the store. And I said, I asked the gentleman, I said, what kind of tree is this? He says, apple tree. I said, wow, that's a pretty good sized apple tree. And I said, you mind if I look at the tag? And he said, yeah, go ahead. You work here? He asked me, I work here. I said, no, sir. But I said, you know, this is a standard apple tree. He said, standard. What does that mean? I said, well, this means this tree's going to get about 30 feet across and about 25 or 30 feet tall. He said, I can't take care of anything like that. I really can't. I said, sir, they have trees that grow smaller, but a lot of these big box stores don't carry the dwarfs. The dwarfs will grow anywhere from 10 to 15 feet tall, but you can see them keep cut back. I said, they won't get as big as this will. And I said, you do know that you need a second tree for this to produce apples. He said, you need a second tree? Well, I don't have room for this one. I said, sir, apple trees for the most part need a second tree. They need a second tree. I said, did the guy, I see him loaded up with Did he tell you that? Did he say anything to you? I said, no. You look on the tag, and it says right on there, it says pollinator needed. So I said, see here, sir? Pollinator needed. That means that you need a second tree. Pollinator is a second tree. He said, oh, my goodness, I better put this back. And he put it back. But I can't save all of them. And I realized that. That really ticks me off. You put a tree in the ground, it gets big, 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 and you're waiting for years for it to produce apples, and it doesn't. It doesn't. So 25 feet tall, about 15, 20 feet across, and it's still a baby. And it's still growing. And it's not producing any apples because you didn't know when you bought it that it needed a pollinator. I was using here on my lawn. And human manure. Yep, human manure is a valuable fertilizer, folks. And as we go further and further and the population increases, you will, and I repeat, you will be eating food grown more and more from human waste. Because no one in their right mind is going to keep throwing away that valuable resource. They're not going to keep doing that. They're already using it in some places as fuel, to heat things and that sort of thing. They're using it. So they're using it as fertilizers now. They just got to get the population used to the idea. That's all. Because they already know how to use it. They already know how to use human waste as fertilizer. They already know. They know heat it up for this number of months, heat it up this hot, it's pure clean, put it in a bag, put it on the truck, ship it on down to that farmer. There are many farmers that are using it. Hello, how you doing? Food for permaculture. Let's see. Father God. Okay. All right. What's wrong here, Garden City? What's wrong? You said Father God. What's wrong? Something new every day. Shock. Well, look at it this way. This is how I look at it. This is how I look at it now. A, would you like to eat fertilizer that came out of your neighbor next door? Or B, would you like to eat fertilizer that came out of a cow, which you've never met before? I'm sorry, folks. I couldn't resist. I'm sorry, I couldn't resist. Human, okay. Yeah. Now, the question is, let me ask you good people this, because a lot of you are going to be totally honest, and I already know that. Let's say you go into the store, and you went into Lowe's, and they got 40-pound bags of human manure in the bag. It's $1.50 a 40-pound bag, but the cow manure over there is $5 a bag. Which one would you do? Now, I'm going to tell you what I would do. If I did not know, the first thing I would do, I choose a cow. Okay, a lot of people choose a cow because the cow is going to get all they eat is grass. But your neighbor is drinking wine and taking all kind of steroids to help his body stay alive, and then on top of that, he's eating all kind of weird foods, junk food, and then they're taking his waste. Because if you look at how much, this is just one human being, and you look at how much waste a human being can produce each year. It goes down through the pipes, it goes down through the plants where they go into. They feed it into a bacteria bath, and the bacteria eats up all the brown stuff, and that water's pumped back out, and then the solid waste goes to another section and goes into it, and they get it up on a conveyor belt, they roll it through, they put it through the furnace, and they put it through a tumbler, and they turn it into little tiny pellets, little black pellets. And it goes through another process, and then when they finally finish with it, the farmers are waiting on the other end and saying, this costs how much a pound? But think about that. And it does the same job, the same nutritional value as the cow manure. Keep sending it. That's what they're going to say. Keep sending it. And they're going to put it in bags that are like just brown, and they're not going to put a label on it because the farmer already know what he bought. He don't need you to know when it's rolling through town that says human manure on the bags. You don't need that because people going to want to know, where is he taking it at? He's taking it down to the strawberry farm about 100 miles up the road. That's where he's taking it at. and he's ordering it as fast as he can get it. A few thousand acres of strawberries, and he's making buku dollars. That time of year, he's going to keep doing what he got to do. The only way I would use human if was from me. Okay, all right, from you. Okay, all right, that's interesting. Just don't want to use it from just all the neighbors down the street. Just no, I don't think I want to take a chance. But yeah, I mean the truth is it's something. But they're going to be they're going to be billions of more people on this planet, billions more people on this planet very soon, and they're going to do what they got to do to make money. And if humans are producing a material that grows food, guess what? They're going to use it, and they're going to keep using. They're using it now. Let's not mistake and not misunderstand it. They're using it now. They're just not broadcasting it to everybody. They're using it now. Some farmers are looking at their bottom line closely, and they're saying this costs $1 a pound. Cow manure is $2.50 a pound. Huh? And it's the same nutritional value. Huh? That's what they're doing, and it's just as clean. And all the farmer wants to see is all the paperwork on it, all the tests you've done, all the claims. They want to see what has it been doing, what's its track record. And if they even that concerned, some of them not going to even be that concerned. They're going to look at how many other farmers are actually using it. And as the numbers increase, your word won't even matter. They're going to make what they're going to do what they got to do. Okay, yeah, that's what it is. Pee and poo. Yep, they're making that money. They're making that money. And that's why when you go to the grocery store, half of the apples and oranges and fruit that you buy don't even taste right because they've been making the sessions a long time ago. They've been making cuts a long time ago. They're not buying and growing your food in ways that make it nutritional and healthy for you because they're taking all kind of cuts. They're growing stuff with chemicals and everything to make stuff grow faster and faster and faster so they can get it from the farm onto the table. And that's what they're interested in. They are not interested in you and your son and daughter growing up big and healthy. They're interested in, can we make it look good? Can we make it last on the shelf a long time? Can we make it where it's a large size because that's what people are buying, large size peppers and large size apples and all that. That's what they're buying, and that's just reality. Because even we grow in our garden, we will take and look for seeds. I got caught up one day. I was in the store and it said giant pumpkins seeds, just the seeds, giant cabbage, giant watermelons. And there I was looking at it going, wow. Not thinking that watermelon, if it gets to 200 pounds, is not worth eating. It's not worth eating at all. Let's see. Absolutely. Yes. Their food is no good when they pump a bunch of chemicals in it. It's no good. But we eat it every day. All you do is go in the grocery store. The next time I want you to think about the next time you go in the grocery store and you see these huge, beautiful grapes, and you go to buy that pack. I want you to think about how did they grow these big, huge grapes? When if you look back, some of you are old enough to remember when grapes were the average size. I'm one of them. Now you go in the store and buy Thompsons that's so daggone big, you have to wonder where they got these from. I bought an apple a while back. It was a Honey Crisp. I paid $3 for this one apple. This apple was so big around. I said, "Oh my God!" That inspired me to buy my own Honey Crisp apple cheese. And that's what I did, folks. I'm not playing around. I ain't playing with these people. When I get these apple trees up and producing the way they should, You will not see me in the grocery store buying apples. I don't believe in it buying apples because when I see all that wax on them and I see all the fact that high cost they got on them, when it's on the store, you're saying we've already eaten human food unknowingly. Absolutely, you've been eating it. Absolutely, absolutely, you've been eating it. They growing this food. Listen, they growing this food all over the world in these poor countries. The labor's cheap. They're using what fertilizer they can use, and they're doing it. They're making it do what it do. And the U.S. is not turning that food away. As long as it passed specs, they're not turning that stuff away. They're not turning that food away. Look at when you can buy cherries in the dead of winter. What do you think? It ain't coming from the U.S. Cherries are not coming from the U.S. in the dead of winter. Dead of winter? No. Look at the cherries. Look at the bad condition of them. They're dehydrated. They're small in size. They're buying that wherever they can get it. That is that they pass inspection, and they selling that stuff right here. They're selling. Look, I go in the grocery store and I look at things. I go, look at that. I say, where are they getting this from this time of year? They're getting it from wherever they can get it from. It's hauled in here. And that's why when the spring comes in, the cherries get prettier because you get them from here now. You're getting big cherries, perfectly unblemished. Why? Because they're spraying the hell out of that stuff. They're spraying the hell out of that stuff. The only job for that farmer when he grows all those cherries is to make sure he don't lose them. He don't need bugs eat them up, and he don't need damage to them in any kind of way. He's spraying the hell out of that food, and he's getting into the store so pretty looking. He'll say, "Oh my God, look at these cherries," and you'll buy them. And when you buy those cherries, you take them home. Some of you don't even wash them off, and you just start eating them, and it's sweet. And you go, oh my goodness, eat so many of them, eat so many of them. And you go, oh my goodness. And then you think to yourself, why can't I grow cherries like this? Because you're growing them naturally. Interesting, food forest permaculture. Interesting. It's about, I wish I had a dollar bill in my hand right now. Because that would just prove my point just perfectly. The only thing that most farmers are interested in is a dollar. They are not interested in, I grow the best potatoes in town. I grow the best apples, the sweetest apples on this side of wherever. I'm the king of this. They're not interested in that. They're interested in, I got customers to supply. Those grocery stores are telling him, I want big apples, because big apples sell. I want apples without blemishes, because they sell. And this is what I'm looking for. And those buyers go out to those farms and they get together with those farmers and tell them what they need. Big food chains come in and swallow up that whole farm. They haul it off. And some of the apples go into storage because they rotate them and put them in storage and all that. It's just unique how they do it. They're masters at what they're doing. They're masters at what they're doing. Food forests, permaculture. People say, where are the bees going? Where are the bees going? Where are the bees going? Hell, you done killed them for the last 40, 50 years spraying the farms. You just noticing it now, but the bees have been sprayed out for years. They've been spraying them and killing them for years. There was a guy with a commercial on YouTube one time. I used to send him a lot of bad mail. Didn't mean to, but he bothered me. He got on my nerves. He was selling some product on how to kill bees. kept selling products on how to kill bees. He said he sell you the kit and he sell it to you how to kill bees. And I kept sending stuff to him asking, why are you promoting your product which kills bees? I couldn't believe anybody would be out here trying to kill bees. And without them, you don't get your fruit. Without them, you don't get your vegetables. And you're killing them? What kind of madman does that? Well, let me tell you something. I'm going to throw something your way, and I think I probably told you about this before. I've seen plants. It's right here on YouTube if you want to go look at it. That in some parts of these countries, in some of these countries, the government allows them to use waste, like a processing plant, to use waste to produce fertilizer. And you should have saw it. They had this bulldozer out there in this plant where they bring all the waste there. What do they call them? Can't think of the name of them right now. But it was picking up all this waste material, all the food and crap and garbage, and it was putting it on trucks. And the trucks were taking it to the farms. It was unloading it onto the field. And inside this waste was everything from batteries to styrofoam containers, everything. It was just garbage. All it was garbage. They spread it on the crops and they put their crops into this garbage, and the crops grew beautifully. They grew beautifully. Guess what? They interviewed the old woman that was there, the manager of the farm, and she said, I've been eating, she's from China. I've been eating this for years and I'm not sick. That was her comeback line from what the reporter asked her. Then they showed her product on the fruit stands in her own country. And the stuff did look pretty. It was big, healthy looking, but it was grown from trash, from garbage. That's where it was grown from. And the government allowed it because the people there could not afford fertilizer. So the government allowed it to feed the population. And the reporter took a close up of the ground, and there was a rusted out 9-volt battery laying there on the ground, releasing its chemicals into the ground. Come on now. And on that note, folks, I'm going to go because I got to go out here and do some garden work. But it's been real nice talking to each and every one of you. Thank you very much for tuning in. I won't forget about you. Each time I come out here, I'll give out the best information and I'll make certain that we keep on growing. This has been the Morning Gardener. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Have a good day.